Hey guys, my name is Nicolette Mashile. I am also known as The Financial Bunny. Welcome to The Financial Bunny TV. Today I want to talk a little bit about some businesses that I think you should try in 2024, or even some side hustles. They don't have to be businesses that you're going into full time. Now, before I get into this video, please do remember that none of my videos constitute as financial advice. If you are, however, looking for financial advice, please speak to somebody who is certified and registered with the FSCA. So let's start with the first one. The first one that I think you should be getting into is what everybody is into right now, which is digital, right? A majority of us businesses, people have all gone digital. So one of the most important things that you're going to find is that there's a lot of companies, especially companies that are not traditionally very digitally visible companies, may be looking for some sort of digital presence. Even if it's just for the exercise of being found online, I think it's very important for them to go on there. So they don't necessarily have to have social media pages. It's really maybe establishing some sort of digital presence. What I would suggest you do is maybe pick a niche of an industry, typically the ones that don't even have those kind of social media presence, like a manufacturing company. It's usually your B2B company. So B2B is business to business versus B2C, which is business to consumer. So rather focus on those types of businesses, because generally you're not going to oversell this thing. You're not going to charge it too much. You may even say, look, we're going to charge you a package of 5,000 Rand, and 5,000 Rand, what we're going to do is to create a simple holding page, which is like their website, a simple website, even if it's one pager, which you can literally build yourself. There are sites where you can download a license that allows you to use templates, and all you've got to do is to build the site where these guys are able to have information such as their contact details, their address, maybe their executive in terms of who and what it is that they do, who are the people that are doing so, and just exciting things around their businesses. The other thing you could be doing for those kind of B2B companies, instead of even a website, you could just say to them, look, I'm going to give you guys a LinkedIn profile, and you do a couple of shots with them for all of their staff. You get their CVs or profiling, you put them on there, you do a business page. Literally, that is it. So you can package your things the way you want. But essentially, what we're trying to do is to create a digital presence for companies that would not necessarily have those kind of digital presences. So I'm not going, presence. I'm not talking, totally going social media crazy, setting up Instagram accounts. There is opportunities to do that, but generally companies like that, they will go out and find this type of thing. Sometimes you've got to show the business that they've got a need, even though they might not know they actually have a need. And maybe when you are doing your proposal, come with a scenario to say, imagine if so-and-so company is looking for your services, but they don't know how to get a hold of you. They may have heard about you from somebody else, but because you don't have digital presence, they can't Google you. Everything needs to be Googleable in this day and age. The second thing that I think you should be talking about is something that happened to me last year, or think about doing, is something that happened to me last year. I was trying to find funding for my Financial Bunny school, and one of the things that I struggled quite a lot was drafting the business plan. Now, it's not that the business does not have a solid business plan with a solid business model. It's just that it's all in my head and it's never been put on paper. In reality, is a lot of funding places, whether it's the businesses, whether it's banks, or whether it's funding institutions, whether it's a grant that you're applying for, are going to need some sort of pitching doc. They're going to need some sort of business plan that you've put together. And let me tell you, a lot of us struggle with this. So a lot of small businesses need this because we don't have the person in the business who's able to do this. So it really takes a little bit of just studying some business plans that are out there in the same industry that you want to work into, and understanding what makes that business plan get the types of funding. There's also a lot of workshops that you can attend where you can get an idea of what are they looking for when they're looking at a business plan or a funding request, and then you put it together in a package and you go to small businesses and you offer that service. The third one I want to speak about is this one that has been on my mind since last year. I think it made it into my last year's list. It is a house manager. This year, I'm calling it a concierge manager because I believe that a concierge kind of encompasses a whole lot of other things, right? So it doesn't also sound too elitist. Now, what is a concierge? This is a person who really does the day-to-day mundane planning of things that certain people do not want to do for themselves. It could be planning family trips. It could be dropping off and picking up kids. It literally is the person who manages your household to a point where you can step out of that role and this person takes over and they do almost everything. It is almost a little bit elitist because generally when we talk about concierge services that are mainly used, a lot of the rich people use them to plan holidays, activities during those holidays, picking up booking the flights, doing visas, doing passports for kids. So, and it happens. I mean, I know of a family that went holiday just now in Dubai, and she was taking almost 12 people, and almost, I think 10 of them did not have passports to leave the country, and she had to do all of that herself. And I'm assuming she was very tired from just doing that process. So when you've got a concierge service, you've got somebody who does that, you can imagine you want to go on a holiday to Dubai, but you have not time to research all of the things and activities that can be done to make sure that you fill your time, which is why often I will say I like the holidays where I'm just lying on the beach and doing nothing. Sometimes because really I'm too lazy to plan an itinerary for my holidays, and I really just want to sit down. I just want to chill. So I guess if I had somebody doing it for me and charging me for that, I probably wouldn't mind. The third one, which is an oldie, is tutoring. A lot of people are struggling with their work, with their workload, especially school-going children, because let's just be fair, they've got school, then they've got extramural activities, then they've got, a whole lot of other cultural activities. They're tired, okay? And some of them don't catch on certain things in class the way that you would want them to as a parent. So tutoring becomes something that is available to them. So the question is, where do you source the right tutor for your child that's suitable for your child? In the past, it used to be just finding a tutor. Now it's finding the right and suitable tutor for your child's specific needs and a specific subject. So I think tutoring is a golden oldie, always will come back onto my list. The fifth one that I want to talk about is being in business, especially in the renewable energy business. I know this sounds a lot complicated. Look, if you've got a little bit of money and you don't know where to put your money, you could start off with buying 1 or 2 or 3 renewable solutions, whether it is the UPS, whether it's some solar panels, and you go and find the business of people that are looking for those things. What I'm finding is that a lot of people, they're not manufacturers, they're not product specialists. All they do is become a middleman between finding these energy solutions and the consumers. And people are quite lazy. Convenience is really the ideal thing that a lot of people are chasing. So if you are that person who can offer them that type of convenience, I promise you, they are looking forward to it. The next one is recruitment. Again, South Africa has a very high unemployment rate. Sometimes what I'm finding is that people are not necessarily finding employment, not because they're not qualified, but sometimes it's because, they just don't have the best CV to put forward, or best written CV, best written motivational letter. So this is assisting somebody in finding the recruitment and maybe going a step ahead of what other recruitment companies generally do, and it's finding the most suitable candidate and helping that candidate if you spot that the candidate is good. And I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, I traveled with Miss South Africa. It was Lisa Laurie. And she said, what's crazy is the fact that we've got such great candidates from Miss South Africa. Sometimes they're just lacking in terms of confidence, or they're lacking in terms of articulating themselves very well, right? Because we still live in an environment where English is the most important, or rather not the most important, but the primary language that is being used. And if you can't articulate yourself, I can imagine in a setting where you are being interviewed and you can't articulate yourself very well, it's important to have somebody that can hold your hand. So the types of recruitment is like a new age type of recruitment that I would do. Again, I would focus on an industry. I wouldn't try and do huge industries where there is far more experienced and reputable recruiters in there. I will find a small industry and start there. The next one is putting your car into Uber Eats and Master Delivery. Now, it's very important to do the pros and cons of this, understanding what is the maintenance of your car, what age your car is. If it's going to be a car that's going to crash, or it's going to have major maintenance issues because it's not even used to you traveling that much, I'd rather say don't do it. But if you know that you are spending 14,000 Rand for paying for a car at West Bank or MFC, but for literally 80% of the time your car is parked under a carport at work, then put it into some sort of a delivery service where it's going to be working and you're going to earn money. You've got insurance, insure the person who's going to drive it. I'm a big fan of insurance. As for me, if something breaks and insurance can pay for it, I'm not going to worry about it breaking because there is potential contingency plan that has been put in place to make sure that I'm taking care of those kind of things. The next one, I don't know what number we are at, is Freelance Work. Again, this is another one that is making an appearance on this year. It made an appearance last year. Freelance Work on Fiverr, the likes of Freelancer, the likes of Upwork. I use these services quite a lot. Sometimes maybe I just need like, for instance, somebody to put together like a curriculum for me for a certain subject or a certain grade. Sometimes even for personal finance, even though I know some of the stuff, but I'm too lazy to put together the worksheets, I'll go on Fiverr, I'll go on Upwork and say, I'm looking for somebody who can help me with personal finance development content, and they develop the content for me, and all I have to do is to study it, understand it, and then deliver it. So it's very important to make sure that when you are going to register on these types of platforms, you've got the expertise that you're saying you have, because what you don't want is to advertise you being a graphic designer. Somebody gives you a graphic designer job and then you don't deliver on the job. But that is obviously dishonest, but also I think you will not get a second job, so rather just don't do it, right? This could be also all different types of jobs. It's not just creative work, it's all types of jobs. The next one that I would think of, reselling things that you don't need in your house. Once you get the hang of reselling things, you probably want to resell even for your friends. So I have things in my house. My golden rule used to be, if I have not touched it, have not used it, have not even considered using it in the last 6 months, it's got to go. It's so funny I say that, because probably my friends who know me, who come to my house, will be like, you're lying, because I'm a big hoarder. I have so many things in my house. I mean, right now I've got 2 fridges. Please don't ask me why I have 2 fridges. It's a lot weird. I probably have 4 TV stands. I just don't know how to get rid of some of these things. It's not even that because I'm a hoarder, just simply because I just don't know how to resell them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of places where you can sell. There's things like Facebook Marketplace. There's things like even just your social media. You know, you can take nice pictures of that thing, you put them up, and Bob's your uncle. The one that comes after that, which is also another great one, is Take a Lot selling. I kid you not, every time I go to Take a Lot, the first thing I always think is I need to expand the scope of the things that I sell on Take a Lot. And really setting up your seller account on Take a Lot is not that difficult. People make it sound a lot difficult, but it's not that difficult. And maybe I'll do a separate video on that one. But once you've got your products approved, you can even resell other people's products. Once you've got your products approved, all you've got to do is to keep stocking, sending them to the Take a Lot warehouses, and them getting sold. The trick here is to make sure that you price them well, so that the warehousing prices and the administration price that Take a Lot takes off, or the cost rather, Take a Lot takes off your ultimate cost, is not going to put you in a position where you're actually making a loss. The second last one I'm going to talk about is coaching, right? You can coach in anything. At this point, you literally can coach in anything. Think about the one thing that you're really extremely good at. Sometimes it's something that is not even in line with the work that you do. I know I'm a great netball coach. I'm a great shooting coach. So if I could advertise, for instance, because there are parents who want their child who's maybe a goal shooter, a goal attack, to really be good. And maybe the coach at school is not really a good goal shooter coach. So they think a goalkeeper. Maybe your child is a goalkeeper, and parents are looking for a specialist goalkeeper. You obviously have to have the credentials that are backing you up, but this is just sports. So you could be doing financial coaching, you could be personal development coaching. I know a lady who's making a lot of money, and what she does is coach people for public speaking. Her name is Palisa Debakwani, so do check her out. She coaches people for public speaking. So there's a lot of opportunities to coach people, and coaching is a great business because you don't actually have to be in person with them these days. A lot of coaching, I've done most of my coaching, financial coaching, online. So very, very important, but make sure you're delivering on a good service and people enjoy your service, so that they can, because a lot of coaching is word of mouth. So try it, find a suitable thing that you would like to coach in, even if it's one day in a week or 1 hour in a week or weekdays. You can say, look, I coach on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I coach between, maybe you don't take a lunch hour, so you say maybe I coach between 12 and 2 o'clock. And those days are dedicated to you doing coaching services, and you can charge a certain fee. The last one I want to talk a little bit about is simple event planning and execution. The reason why I put this one here is because a lot of us have simple things that we want to plan. But obviously you don't want to go high-end type of planning where you're getting a no-nos event or a Precious the Planner. Amazing event planners, they do exceptional work. But what you might want is somebody who comes in between you're not doing the work, and maybe in between your no-no or your Precious the Planner, and that person plans like dinners for you, a movie night for you and your kids, a swimming day for your kids and your friends' kids, simple things like that, where the event is still pretty and you love it. but you're not necessarily the one who's executing, having to find underplates, decor, music, putting up the music. This is being done by someone else. So it's not like an expensive service that you're going to be offering, but it is a convenient service that somebody may want to engage you on. Two other very important business ideas or side hustle ideas I think you should think about is one being a personal trainer / gym buddy to somebody. I know that it sounds crazy for people to pay for the gym and then pay for a buddy, but some people really do need an accountability partner. It will just help that if you are their accountability partner, what you're also doing is helping them actually train and putting together a schedule for them or a training program for them. So that's something that you can consider doing. If you are somebody that likes going to the gym, you look good, you have some knowledge around personal training, this could be something that is worth you looking into. The other thing that I think about is if you are a content creator or you're somebody who's very keen on having creating content, and maybe you have the privilege and the luxury to be able to buy camera equipment, sound equipment. I can show you guys how much camera equipment and sound equipment I have. It is absolutely wild, and the reality is you don't use it 365 days a year. So it's quite worthwhile for you to put out what equipment you've got, what sound you've got, and somebody can use your sound. I would even go as far as even borrowing some people your editing suite license. I don't know how legal it is, but sometimes you have more than one user per license that you've got, and there's only one you know what I mean? And nobody else uses your license to edit, whereas you can add 5 other users. So you could club in together or actually rent out or license out your license for your editing. I don't know if that would work, but think about it. I hope some of these ideas have sparked a little interest in you, or you are thinking, actually, this is something that I want to do. The reality of building wealth is making sure that you are baking more cake and not eating less cake, right? When we talk about baking more cake, it's making sure that you've got additional income streams. They don't have to be huge in parallel or in comparison to how much you earn as your primary income, whether you're a business person or you're a salaried person, but you do need to have those other things that supplement that income. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, none of my videos constitute as financial advice. I will see you guys on the next one.